to the chart which has the most powerful Kendras, the Cancer Ascendant chart. The true magic of this chart is that in the Kendras we find something quite remarkable. The planets that are ruling these Kendra houses all have directional strength in these houses. We will look into this topic of directional strength when we learn about the planetary aspects, which will be coming soon. The moon is the chart lord and does extremely well when placed in the first house, especially when benefics aspected or if it is in a waxing state. The fuller the moon, the better. The fourth house is the sign of Libra, which is ruled by Venus, and Venus has directional strength here. Saturn rules the sign of Capricorn, which is in the 7th house of this chart, and Saturn also gets directional strength here. Mars is ruling the 10th house. Mars gets directional strength in this house. Mars is also exalted in the culpable original sign of Capricorn. Mars loves being in the 10th house. Another quality about the Cancer Ascendant is that the 10th house is the sign of Aries, where the Sun is exalted. The placement of Sun in the 10th house is also a wonderful energy, potentially giving the soul fantastic leadership qualities. We should remember the 10th house is the midday area where the sun is the brightest. This is the first amazing quality of the Cancer Ascendant, as we have all the movable signs in the Kendras once again. We have Jupiter ruling the 9th house once again. Ketu is also powerful, influencing both the 5th house and the 9th house. Having said all this, the star of the show is Mars. Mars for the Cancer Ascendant becomes the Yoga Karaka planet, the planet which will provide all the power for the soul. Mars rules 2 powerful houses, the 5th house as well as the 10th house. Mars can single-handedly connect the passions and the desires of the soul with a person's career. Mars for this chart has this potential. Of course, the placement of the planets in the personal birth chart will have to be assessed. Mars is the star of this chart, fighting for his queen, the chart lord Moon. Venus rules the 4th house and the 11th house, showing the potential for expanding the 4th house desires of real estate, homes, vehicles, especially if we could form a relationship with the 2nd lord, Sun. This would indicate the financial potential in this chart. The combination of the Sun and Saturn here forms a Karaka connection. This is compounded by the fact that Saturn also rules the 8th house, a difficult house. Rahu and Mercury in this chart also perform poorly, as they rule the hard and difficult houses, the 3rd, the 8th and the 12th. Mars combining with Jupiter forms a powerful Raja Yoga, with the 10th house and the 9th house being activated. The Moon and Jupiter also has great potential for a powerful combination, which would see the 1st house connecting with the 9th. The Moon connecting with Mars can also be extremely auspicious, as we see the 1st house, the 5th house as well as the 10th house having a connection. Venus, despite having energies which contrast those of Mars and Jupiter, the connection of Venus with either Jupiter and Mars will activate these positive houses, potentially forming powerful Dana Yogas or material growth for the Cancer Ascendant. Saturn connecting with his friends Mercury and Venus can show the deepest desires, which may not be connected to the spiritual agenda of this chart, although not everyone has a spiritual inclination in our modern times. So the 3rd house, the 7th house, and the 11th house connection can provide a lot of desire and gaining from partnerships, which can form a bond to liberate or a bond to enslave. This is completely up to the soul's own will. Understanding the inner profile of the chart is important before we jump into planets being placed in different houses. First, we must know what the chart has, what kind of chart we were born with, what agenda this chart has, the potential it holds, the powerful influences it would provide, as well as the challenges of the chart. The Cancer Ascendant chart holds much power, with so many possibilities. Next, we dive into the Regal Leo Rising. Please subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share. I'd be most grateful.